back, y'all, to the Creative Collision Podcast. It's your host, Saeed here. I'm just doing a solo podcast today. No Will, no Bahan on this one. Just me, myself, and I. Doing a quick podcast for you guys just to get some content out there. I want to go over the 2020 Oscar winners. Oscars just passed this Sunday, and I just want to talk about that a little bit since it's still pretty recent. Get an episode out there for you guys, talk about my thoughts, and I might get into some other stuff, maybe some NBA talk as well. But yeah, man, I want to get a podcast out there to talk about the Oscar winners, and I just want to congratulate Bong Joon-ho and Parasite for winning Best Picture. That's a historical win. That's a big deal. First international film to win the big award, to win an Oscar for Best Picture, and pretty exciting, man. It was a great movie, definitely, and I want to talk about the Oscars on this podcast, and it's something I don't normally talk movies, and I normally don't pay attention to Oscars. I mean, we do, you've heard us, if you've heard our previous podcast, we talked about the Joker and Star Wars and some of the bigger box office movies that hit, and we talked about those in a little bit, but we don't really get into too much detail. But this year I for the first time in a while I actually paid attention to the Oscars. Like I didn't watch the award show. I was working, but like what I mean by I paid attention to the Oscars this year is that I paid attention to the nominees this year. I was actually like all into who was nominated and who was a favorite, and all the the talk and like everything leading up to the Oscars, who the front runners were, the favorites were. And I think the reason why I was more into all the Oscar nominations and all the performances, and just I was into it more this year, is because there was a lot of great movies in 2019, and I saw a pretty good amount of great movies. So out of all the Oscar nominations for Best Picture, I mean, I'm not a huge movie buff. I mean, I wouldn't put myself with the critics up there. But I saw Joker, I saw Parasite, I saw The Irishman, I saw Marriage Story. So I saw most of the Best Picture nominations. I didn't see Jojo Rabbit. I didn't see 1917. I haven't seen that yet. Ford v Ferrari, but I think I saw the rest of the movies that were nominated. Almost Upon a Time in Hollywood, I saw that as well. So I can feel like I can kind of talk about like what movies were the best and what should have won, and Parasite should have won, man. It's definitely, and I just saw it not too long ago. It's definitely like a deserving movie, and everything in that movie was great. All the actors were amazing. It was shot so well. It was a very clean, like 2-hour movie. Like no wasted time. Great cinematography, great shots, great directing. A great message about like upper class, lower class, and society, and the way we the way we treat people, the way we look at certain things. So it was a movie that makes you think. It's a smart movie. It's at times a little scary, at times like really funny. Like it's very entertaining, but at the same time very deep movie. So yeah, just I thought that was a great pick, and it was a great story that it won, because I know the favorite was like 1917, and I heard a lot about that movie. But we've seen, I don't say that we've seen that type of movie, but that genre of movie, the war movie, and I know 1917 was getting a lot of credit for the way it was shot. But I'm really glad Parasite won, and yeah, I mean, I was up there, definitely one of the best movies. It was such a deep class. I wouldn't have been mad, and if other movies that won. Irishman was probably my favorite movie last year, and that's mostly because I just love Scorsese movies, and I love Robert De Niro and that mob genre. So I'm always gonna be like a stickler for that type of movie, and that was probably my favorite movie. But I could see why Parasite won, and I also would have, if they would have picked a different movie. There's an argument for just about every movie. A Marriage Story, there's an argument for. Thought that was an amazing movie, and yeah, man, congratulations to Parasite for winning Best Picture. Let me know what you guys think about that. If you thought another movie was more deserving, or if you thought Parasite should have won and they got it right this time, and why you think they got it right. Other things that happened, there was no surprise, Joaquin Phoenix winning Best Actor for Joker, and he had all the momentum going into it, so no surprise there. A very deep class for Best Actor. Almost any other year, like I can see anybody else in that category could have won if it was like any other year, but it was Joaquin's time, and he had such an amazing performance, and nobody was going to beat him. So no shock there. I think Adam Driver was really great in Marriage Story, so I think his time will come soon. He's still a young actor, and he's piling up the nominations, so his time will come soon. This is only Joaquin's first Oscar, and this is a guy that's been doing this for a long time, and he was due for sure. And it's crazy, man. He's so good, and I don't even think Joker's his best performance. I think he's just as good, if not better, in The Master. He was amazing in Her, of course, Gladiator, and yeah, man. So he was long overdue for this, so he definitely deserved it. And congratulations to Joaquin Phoenix for that. I didn't really have any problems with a lot of the voting as far as who won. I don't think anybody that won that was undeserving, or somebody that got when it came to the nominations, there was people that got snubbed, like Adam Sandler for Uncut Gems, or Eddie Murphy and Dolomite's My Name, or just those movies didn't even get recognition themselves. And Lupita Nyong'o and Us, she was definitely snubbed for a nomination. So but when it came to the actual winners, I don't think there was anybody that won that didn't deserve to win. Laura Dern for supporting actress, she was great in Marriage Story. Renee Zellweger and Judy, Brad Pitt, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I thought he was great in that, so I definitely wasn't mad at that. And it was kind of his time too, where he's never won an acting Oscar, so he was overdue for that. The rest of the people in that, he was up against like OG legends, like you had Anthony Hopkins, who of course has won before, Joe Pesci has won before, Al Pacino of course has won before, so he was like, he was up against like the OGs that already won Oscars. So it was definitely time for Brad Pitt to win his, and a role that he's become such a great actor, a guy that was looked at as, when he was younger, just the hot guy, but nobody really took him like that seriously. He was just like that, blockbuster guy, and made a lot of big budget movies and made a lot of money, but wasn't taken that as serious as like all the like the great actors that people were considered great. So it's good to see him kind of like age into this like very skilled and versatile actor that he's become. So yeah, man, pretty well overall. Oscars were good. Great movies in 2019. We can only hope that 2020 we have, is this anything. If 2020 is anything like 2019, then it's gonna be another great year in cinema. So, just want to give my thoughts on that real quick. Congratulate the winners, and And maybe we'll have another episode when maybe we debate this. If Will has different opinions on who should have won, but I thought it was great. I thought the Oscars. I thought a lot of the winners were deserving, and yeah. So we'll leave it at that. Just a quick topic, quick one for you guys there, and yeah. Let's move on. All right. Next thing I want to actually talk about, Jay Electronica. Jay Electronica announced that he's finally gonna drop his album. If you guys don't know who Jay Electronica is, I don't blame you, especially if you're younger. Jay Electronica is a rapper from New Orleans. He had a mixtape back in the day, and he signed with Jay-Z and Rock Nation. He had this crazy buzz. He made a couple tracks with Just Blaze, Exhibit A, Exhibit C. He's been featured on a lot of songs. Mostly earlier on, around that same time, he was probably the biggest song he was on was Control with Big Sean and Kendrick Lamar, and everybody remembers that song because of Kendrick Lamar's verse and how he called out everybody. He's been on songs with a lot of people. Jay-Z, Mac Miller, Talib Kweli, shit, man. Well, Jay Electronica was this great MC back 10 years ago when he first came out. That has such a huge buzz. This guy was the next dude. This is like even before Kendrick, like he was the next guy before Kendrick blew up, because they both kind of started gaining buzz around the same time. And I remember when Jay Electronica, this is like 2009, 2010, when Jay Electronica started to like really gain a buzz. Kendrick Lamar was starting to pop off at that time as well. J. Cole was starting to pop off as well at that time, and Drake was already, having hits all over the place. But this was like a new, all the new school rappers around that time. Big Crit was starting to make waves, and I just remember out of all these young talented dudes out, man, because there was a really, really good resurgence around 2009, 2010, where all these young rappers, after like a period of like just whackness and a bunch of bullshit coming out, like there's a group of young talented rappers that all kind of came up around the same time that kind of revived like hip hop and at least put lyricism back into the game. And that was Kendrick, J. Cole, Big Crit, and I'll throw Drake in there because he was making waves, and even though like I don't put him on that same class of MC as the other guys. And then Jay Electronica, and I just remember Jay Electronica just stood out so much more than everybody else at that time, even more so than Kendrick and J. Cole. That's how highly I thought of Jay Electronica at that time, man. Like he was the next dude. Like he reminded me of a Nas mix with Biggie and MF Doom. It was just he had a great background story. He had like that kind of like that MF Doom style, but MF Doom style like lyricism and flow, but with like a Biggie confidence and Biggie swag, and he like that flow a little bit too. And there's times when he really sounded like Nas at times too. Like he was just this mixture of like all these great MCs mixed in one, and he was supposed to be the next dude, like the next like big time rapper that was gonna like just take over the game. And he signed a Rock Nation, and it looked like his time was coming, and then we're still waiting on his debut album 10 years later. So he went on Twitter the other day and said that he was gonna drop his album, and at first I laughed, and I think a lot of people laughed at first, and like, oh, here we go again, motherfucker, like there you go again, saying the same shit. Like he said this at least 3 or 4 times before in the past. So again, nobody's believing him. But then Jay-Z is liking all of his tweets, man. So Jay doesn't really Jay-Z doesn't go on Twitter often. So when he's on Twitter, it's something serious, So he went on after like Jay Electronica posted a string of tweets. Album done, coming out in 40 days, is recorded over this time period. He had he's like, I got a song featured with Jay-Z and blah. And then okay, everybody's taking it for bullshit. Like, we won't believe it till we see it. You've done this to us before. But then Jay liked his tweets, all those tweets. So like, oh shit, maybe it is coming out. So from what it feels like, it looks like it's finally coming out, man. And even though it's been this long, and I stopped checking for Jay Electronica a long time ago, I'm not gonna lie, I'm still gonna listen to it first day it comes out. I'm still gonna be excited. I'm still, I'm definitely not like at the where it was back then, where like I was so anticipating this album, but I'm still definitely gonna have high expectations for it, and hopefully it's great. You make us wait this long. I hope it's something out of this world. So I just want to talk about that real quick, because I found it funny that Jay Electronica said he's finally dropping an album, and if it does come out, it's 10 years after he first signed with Rock Nation. So like, it took him long enough, but we'll see, man. We'll see about Jay Electronica's album. Other stuff in hip hop going out. Lil Wayne dropped an album, Funeral. I thought it was cool. I thought it was too long, way too long, and I think that hurt the album, because there were some good songs on there for sure. But like half of the songs were also like, not that they were bad or terrible. It's just like, they didn't really add to the album and make it any better. So I felt like if Lil Wayne shortened that album up and made it more cohesive, it would have been a better listen. Eminem had Music to Be Murdered By, that came out a couple weeks now. We didn't really talk about that much, but again, it's kind of a little bit the same thing with Lil Wayne, where it just is too long. It was too long for me. I liked Eminem's album more than Wayne's album, I'll say that. Eminem can still rap his ass off. That's never going to be a problem. I think he struggles nowadays with songwriting, as far as like putting together like a really good song that sounds good and kind of touches people and gets to people. He's always going to be able to do the rapidy rap, fast rapping, and he's always going to be able to flow his ass off. But like, what are you really saying? Are you connecting to people? I think that's where Eminem kind of struggles. That's where he struggles with now as he's gotten older, with that part of, as the game has changed, music, hip hop has changed, and I think he struggled with that change where he just doesn't really know how to fit in as well, and that's hurt him some. But he's still a great rapper. I thought Music to Be Murdered By was pretty good. What hurts it was some of the hooks and some of the beats, but man, like, those features are sick, man. Slaughterhouse, you had Royce always killing it, Crooked Eye, or King Crooked, he goes by now. That was, he killed it. And there was some, I thought it was Eminem's best album in years, so I'll give him that. And he's still always gonna be a legend. So so we'll see what goes on with Jay Electronica's album. I just look kind of funny, man. So hopefully the album does come out and you get something great from it. So yeah. Last thing I want to talk about on this podcast is little NBA talk. I just want to catch up a little bit with you guys about my thoughts on this NBA season, what the Lakers are doing, and how their season's going. And trade deadline just passed. The Lakers didn't get anybody. Darren Collison, I was really hoping Darren Collison was going to sign with the Lakers, but he's going to stay retired. and that kind of sucks because I feel like we really need a point guard that can handle the ball and play make for others when LeBron's not on the court, create offense for others, make a three, it's all good. Rondo just had a great game, so we'll see if that keeps up. Maybe now that he knows his job is safe, he's still gonna get that playing time. Maybe will play better, but Clippers made a move. They traded for Marcus Morris, and they're just adding like building upon what one of their strengths is already, which was like physical defenders and tough minded people. Morris is just like another one of those dudes that another one of those bodies that they can throw out LeBron. They can mix it up with him, and he can create his own shot too. So I think that was a pretty big ad for the Clippers. I'm not gonna lie, and it looks like it's gonna be between the Lakers and the Clippers as we head into the All-Star break, and only about 30 games left in this regular season, and the Clippers are kind of right behind the Lakers for that number one spot in the West. The Lakers, they're obviously having a great season. They're in first in the West. They've been in the first all year long. But I do think it's gonna be tough to get past the Clippers come playoff time, man. I just see how that team matches up with the Lakers, and I feel like the big difference is gonna be AD. I think LeBron's gonna do his thing. He's gonna do what he can, but the way the Lakers are gonna get past the Clippers is AD. AD has to like really come up big. He has to be like a closer. He's had that huge size differential on the Clippers. That's the one thing where the Lakers can. That's the one strength the Lakers have over the Clippers is their size. With AD and Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee, Clippers only 7-footer they have is Zubac, and Montrezl Harrell, as great as he is only like 6'7", 6'8". I know he's a tough defender, but the Lakers got to take advantage of him being undersized, and the two times they played the Clippers so far, the Lakers haven't took advantage of that. So that's why I think AD has to just really be like Shaq, in the playoffs, like drop 40 and 20, and take over inside, man, because that's gonna be the Lakers' big advantage. Gotta wear him down that way. So we'll see how the season ends up. Lakers, in a good spot heading to the All-Star break, and we'll see how it goes, man. My boy D'Lo got traded to the T-Wolves. D'Lo is one of my favorite players since the Lakers drafted him. I was a big D'Lo fan when the Lakers had him, so I've been following his career a lot, and kind of wish he worked out with the Warriors, just because the Warriors are a winning franchise, and I really want D'Lo to be on a winning team. I know the Warriors are hurt this year and they're not good, but they're gonna be back to a winning team next year with a healthy Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, and I kind of wanted D'Lo to fit in with them and be a part of them, because even if he would have been the third option there, he still would have been on like a championship contending team possibly, and I want to see him do good, be on good teams. And now that he's on the T-Wolves, yeah, he's gonna get, he's gonna put up a lot of points. Him and Cat are best friends. They're gonna put up some, pretty big numbers together. But I don't know if there's gonna be a lot of winning going on. I don't really see any, that team working out or building a winning team. So, kind of, it is what it is. I'm kind of afraid he's gonna be like on losing teams a lot in his career, and it's kind of suck because I follow all the young Lakers that they've traded away. D'Lo, Brandon Ingram having an All-Star year for New Orleans, and I do think that team's going in the right direction. I don't think that's going to be a losing team for much longer. I do think that team's going to be a playoff team, pretty soon, within the next year or two. So, Clarkson's playing on a good team with the Jazz. I'm really happy for Clarkson, for him to be back on not even back. This is like the first time he's been on a good team. Other than like that first year he got traded to Cleveland where you got to the finals with LeBron, but good to see Clarkson being a big big part of a playoff team. So Julius Randle's not having that good of a year with the Knicks. Knicks are just horrible as always. So I don't know how I got off on with these former Laker kids, but I just always wish them well. Hope they they play on good teams. But yeah, we'll see what happens the rest of the season. Lakers going into the All-Star break with being a number 1 seed. But I do think they need to step it up to another level if they want to win the championship. Got to win it for Kobe. Come on, man. Another thing I want to talk about: Mookie Betts being officially a Dodger, and I'm fucking happy. Mookie Betts just joining that lineup, or that already deep lineup that the Dodgers have. It's going to be an exciting season, and as Dodger fans, it's been pretty frustrating this offseason, knowing all the cheating that went on with the Astros and feeling like we got robbed in 2017, and I don't want the Dodgers to be handed that trophy from 2017. I know there was a petition going on by like LA Council or something about stripping the title from the Astros and giving it to the Dodgers. Nah, I don't want the Dodgers to be handed that trophy. I want them to I want to see them win it on the field, celebrate in that moment, and not after the fact, not 3 years after the fact. Oh, here you go. Like, that takes away all the emotion and all the happiness when the Dodgers finally do win the championship, and that's going to be a great feeling when they finally do. So I was in favor of Astros getting it stripped away, but I don't want to see it get handed to the Dodgers. But it was a frustrating offseason. It was a frustrating year, having 106 wins and losing in the first round in the divisional series to the Nationals. So, but man, here we go again. We have the best lineup that I've ever seen them have. With Mookie Betts now joining, it's exciting, and I do think, man, I feel good about this year. I'm not gonna predict anything. I'm not gonna jinx. I don't want to say anything crazy, but I feel really good about this year for the Dodgers, and the season's coming up, and I'm pretty excited, man. So yeah, I'm just happy the front office finally kind of made a major move, because it really looked like they're just gonna come in with the same team and not make really any big changes. So they got one of the best players in baseball in his prime. So, and hopefully they can keep him long term. So yeah, man, I'm gonna end this podcast there. Thank you for joining this one. A little shorter than most of our other ones. Just did this one solo today. And for Creative Collision, this is Saeed checking out. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.